Hi, I'm Gareth. I was in a pub quiz recently and it was a nail-biting finish. It was neck and neck with one question remaining. And I wonder if you might help me with an answer to that one question. The question was, there are two doubly landlocked countries in the world. Name one of them. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Well, what did you think? Now, I think that's a pretty tough question, and I'd be willing to bet that most people wouldn't actually know the answer. But I'm also willing to bet that in a pub quiz, most people would be willing to have a go. They'd be willing to come up with an answer even if they weren't 100% sure. They'd be willing to use a little bit of common sense to work out what the question's asking you for, and then they'd be willing to make an educated guess as to what a sensible answer might be. And it's really important that you approach your accountancy exams in exactly the same way, because particularly as you progress higher and higher in your qualification, you will increasingly encounter exam questions where sometimes you won't know exactly what the requirements are asking for, and even if you do, you won't be 100% sure of exactly what the answer is. And even in those questions where you're not exactly sure what they're after, you've got to be willing to use a bit of common sense and a bit of educated guesswork to come up with some kind of answer. After all, if you write nothing, you will score nothing. Whereas if you write something, you'd be surprised how easily you will score some marks even if your answer isn't exactly correct. I'm always amazed by how many people who will happily have a go at an answer in a pub quiz won't do the same in their accountancy exams. After all, which is more important to you, a pub quiz or your accountancy qualification? Oh, and you probably want to know whether you got the answer right. Now actually, you may never even have heard of the term of a doubly landlocked country. So this is where you would have to use a bit of common sense. Now, a landlocked country is one that does not have any borders on the sea. So to reach the sea, you have to pass through at least one other country. A doubly landlocked country is a country where to reach the sea, you'd have to pass at least 2 other countries. Now that makes me imagine we're looking for countries that are buried within large land masses and surrounded by lots of other small countries. So for instance, if you were to take South America is a very large landmass, but it's actually made up of very large countries. Countries such as Brazil, Argentina and Chile. And actually there aren't any doubly landlocked countries in South America. We're actually looking at Europe and Central Asia. And the 2 answers are Liechtenstein, a very small country in the middle of Europe, and Uzbekistan, a country in the middle of Central Asia. But it doesn't really matter whether your answer was correct. What matters is whether you were willing to come up with an answer. And remember to take that mindset into your next exam with you. So if you do come across questions that you're not sure what to do with in an exam, just think of it like a pub quiz and apply some common sense and some educated guesswork to give them something to mark.